Danny, I thought it was the Hawaiian word for today because I'm Piula. I'm tired. My whole life, I was told that's the Hawaiian word for tired. My mom said I'm Piula. All my aunties, uncles, cousins, Piula. It's Maluhi Luhi, I guess, instead. But I'm Piula, bro. So I guess that's the slang Hawaiian word for tired. And I'm feeling it today. Had one of those things where I woke up and I was like, man, it feels like it's about 4 o'clock. I like that time to wake up now because it gives me about an hour of like reading and personal devotion time and a little bit of like, what is it? Where you just kind of zone out there. A little bit of that happening, and then I want to be on the road by like 5:15 so I could be in the water by like 5:30 or so. But probably it was like 3:38. So then I was like, well, what do you do now? What do you do? Do you try to go back to sleep for 20? Would I wake up at 5:30 and be too late to serve? So I just got up. So I've just been dragging ever since. And what happens, my beloved shark pit? Straight on shore, only for the early morning when I went down there and looked at it. When I drove by again to go pick up my buddy from the airport, it was gorgeous. That's my happy Aloha Friday.
It's Aloha Friday, Johnny. That's worth celebrating. You're so tired you didn't even wear one of your cool shirts today.
This is a cool shirt. It's the most crowded wave in the world.
We didn't see the cool part.
It's Australia. It's a very, very crowded space, as you can see it. So that is a cool shirt. Man, it's just not an Aloha shirt. It's a surf shirt. So I am being Hawaiian because I am wearing nature. And that's the equivalent of a Aloha shirt.
Aloha Friday to all of our wonderful listeners. Johnny, news doesn't travel very fast on the island. It's also on island time. There's something important this morning at 9 o'clock local time. It was the second reading of Bill 88. There's some hearsay. Maybe it passed, but we don't have a vote count. We don't have a true update on it at this moment. The only thing that you do get updates on in real time is traffic incidents and emergencies from Maui 24/7. Is that right?
That's the truth. That's it. That is your local news source. And it's only on Facebook. And it's not the actual news from Maui 24/7. It's the comment section that give you the actual news. That's the Coconut Wireless. Literally videos of the actual traffic jam, why it's happening, when it's happening in the comments. Maui 24/7. Facebook.
There you have it. So Bill 88, pending the full report, and which we'll get in some of the emails later from different parties that are involved.
Yes.
Shall it go through? The next step is it goes to Mayor Bissen's desk for a full signature and legalization of this bill, which would create H3 and H4 zoning, which would be one step closer to turning some of those Minatoya List condos back into vacation rentals.
It seems like it's going to be a less tedious process than originally planned, but still tedious, right? Because originally there was discussion about, does every owner now need to bring this to the table? And now it was discussed that no, the AOAO can be representation, is my understanding. They could submit whatever's necessary. But then we're going to follow the same series of public discussions, the banter back and forth, and then potential voting. Did I get that right in the synopsis there? Because that's my understanding. So they're saying, yeah, there's a chance that it could go into this new H3, H4 zoning.
I'm just wondering if they take every individual complex and do that case by case and have testimony and written report, that might take years and years and years. So I'm hoping it's not that complicated, that there is a bit of a streamlining process, which they have talked about. Like, we can streamline it, we can move it forward, but that's kind of on a wait to see basis.
Now, we did see a follow-up story, same news source, right? That they had to vote down using transient accommodation taxes towards climate initiatives because they just don't have the taxes.
That was a part of it. They wanted to earmark 20% of this tax from transient accommodation, which is quite a large sum of money at the moment with all of the transient accommodation properties, but that may decrease with Minatoya and Bill 9 and Bill 88, all of that sort of thing. But they wanted to earmark it towards climate resilience for good reason, Johnny. Have we seen this photo from Kihei?
That is the destructive force called water. And people think fire is destructive. Water is the most destructive element on Earth.
This looks straight up off ChatGPT. Like, give me some sort of crazy
disaster photo,
Armageddon photo of this complex and what it could look like if a flood happens. But this is real life. This was a real picture from someone. There was a swimming pool here, Johnny.
There were,
I don't know where it went.
It's up front too. Yeah, seriously, Danny. And this association was actively trying to get the county to work with them to allow them to shore this up best way they could. Complete and total indecision has led to this. Is this what we want on Maui? Where we speak so highly about being good stewards of the earth, but we're just going to let condos fall into the ocean as a statement piece? I don't know. That's the part where I'm a little saddened by this. This doesn't seem to be the way forward.
So these units on the end, the trophy units, they did have some washout that undermined the structure in a previous storm about a year ago. Those were all down to the studs, and they were trying to get permitting, and that was basically laughed at by the permitting department. They told them more or less to just destroy the whole thing and rebuild some sort of tower on the back part of the property. They insisted that they wanted some sort of rebuild, couldn't get the permits. So when the second storm came, completely destroyed this complex and washed out even more. If I'm looking at this picture, Johnny, it looks like the water is coming from off the left-hand side, which
and that's McKenna Surf, right?
Ma'alaya Surf.
Ma'alaya Surf.
Yes, we'll keep you oriented on the south side. No worries, Johnny. There was some scuttlebutt that they had created maybe a wall to divert water off their parking lot, which is pushing even more of the water towards this property. I could see some lawsuits coming down the pipeline on that, but this really looks like the water came from that left side of the screen. It doesn't look like anything's coming from the right side. I'm just looking at the pictures in my investigative hat. Either way, super sad, but the reason we show this is because they voted down the 20% allotment, and the reasoning was we just don't have a lot of money in that fund, and that fund is going to decrease, so we can't earmark 20% of it. Now, what will they do for some of this resilience and mitigation? That is the next question that is unanswered.
Keep in mind, so we kind of tacked on our own new Maui County transient accommodation tax, right? Because there's always been one to the state. And then we were like, oh, well, hey, we'll just add another tax because that's what we're good at. And so that's where that came from. But got to have people staying in these condos here to get the transient accommodation tax. So let's talk about bringing people back to Maui, baby. Get our businesses going, local people coming along with life, and the kids can live here. We can all be stoked.
That is to be determined. It seems like a long process to get Lahaina up and going, and Front Street and the Royal Complex moving at a snail's pace, but kind of in line with what some of the inside scoop from previous fire damage communities in California and some of those places. People are saying 7 to 10 years to expect, especially on Maui, and it seems like we're right on that timeline, Johnny. 2023, they're saying 2030, that would put us at 7 years. Now, it doesn't seem to be slowing people down. We mentioned on Wednesday's show that Lahaina Shores is starting to see vacationers back who are enjoying this new vibe of Lahaina, access to the beach, quietness, not a lot of people wrestling with them for it. So there is some life back on Front Street. It just looks a lot different.
Agreed. Now, those 2033 projections, was that for a completed town product? You know, do we get to look forward kind of like a liftoff, maybe 4 or 5 years earlier where little things start happening, like they could bring back the McDonald's for me in Papalawa, or just a little bone here and there, open up the food land, just have some stuff happening, right? A little bit of town action. That would be nice. I mean, it's kind of cool how you can come down Shaw Street now. You can whip it right onto Front Street. You can go all the way around the banyan tree because they're allowing access to the harbor. And that's kind of cool. So let's just continue little incremental things because that's what will draw people back. That's the curiosity. It doesn't have to be completely done. That's for the Maui people that haven't experienced it, right? For the true lovers that have been coming for decades, that's all they want to see is just more stuff every time they come back. That's what will keep them coming back. What's new now in Lahaina? What else is open, right? Speaking of Lahaina, I saw that I think it's the Haleaina Awards. This is the restaurant awards for all of Hawaii. The top restaurant on Maui right now, no, it's not Mama's. No, it's not Merriman's. It was Mala. Mala Restaurant takes top dog, gets the gold. Silver went to Mama's Fish House. Merriman's got bronze. And I forget what there was another fourth one on that list there too. Oh, Monkey Pot. So that came in the fourth list there. So anyway, interesting. I see Honu kind of starting to come from Mala, in my opinion. My wife's sending a lot of people there. Chef Arnie from Lahaina Grill has made his home there. That to me is the new Lahaina Grill in terms of style of food with his type of chefing. It's spendy, but amazing, and it's getting a lot of good buzz. My wife is a concierge. She's sending people, and they're coming back raving.
That's good news. The topic I had in mind for today, for a little further discussion, Johnny, was kind of the cellar atmosphere. It feels at this point that buyers is kind of the business that you want to be in right now, with more and more listings on the market, things not moving. Seems we have agents collecting trophy cases of listings to show how many listings that they're holding at one time. For me, I'm not sure, is that an advantage to you as a potential seller, or is that a disadvantage? What do you think?
Yeah. So right off the bat for me right now in this particular market here, a buyer is worth more than a seller. Now, the only sellers that are really, really attractive to me are the ones that are highly motivated and want to sell very quickly because they have a deep understanding of the market. The worst type of seller right now, I feel, is the one that's dominating the listing market. And that's the person that overpaid in the COVID market and wants to get out unscathed. In fact, they kind of want to make a little money, at least have everything paid for and a little something for their time. And I just don't understand that mentality. I don't understand how you have that listing conversation where it's like, yeah, let's give this a shot. We'll get you more than the most incredibly competitive market I've ever experienced in my life. And I've been through 2 cycles now, right? I was in the Great Recession period prior to in Arizona, basically ground zero after Vegas, experienced that mayhem. Now I've gone through it here again.
It's a question mark as to what are people trying to do, this whole kind of try it out methodology. I thought it was interesting from the standpoint of someone looking to sell. Kind of heard some news that people seem to like when agents have a lot of listings. But I was thinking, if I see that you have a lot of listings, for instance, 20 to 30 listings right now, and you've only sold 1 or 2 for the year, does that tell me you're good at selling properties or you're good at getting listings?
That's it. Tell me about your days on market. Tell me about what you have sold. Tell me about what you've sold after the fire market. What are your strategies there? Have you been through a cycle like this before? Yeah, there's no reason to have a trophy case of listings because that's just saying you're collecting a lot of marketing dollars, you're spending a lot of money, but you're not actually producing for your clients. And what you're basically doing by holding on to this collection is your one strategy is, oh my God, I hope they cut rates if the market comes up to my price. That seems to be the most popular strategy for listing right now. Take your listing. Let's hope. Sometimes I feel myself get weak. It could be a lottery. Somebody could walk into the open house at 0.999 chance. It could happen to me today. Right. So here's another story, Danny. There is a general misconception, misinformation, misperception about listings and how that all works. And people forget that there's 2 sides to a great real estate transaction. I've done dual agency. I can do it at a high level, but it is interesting because dual agency is where I am selling the actual buyer my listing. I'm involved in that instead of just marketing it to him. This is the perception. You're selling this house to me because you're representing the seller. Well, no, what I'm really doing is I'm marketing it for the general public who then goes and talks to their agent, or their agent presents that to them as a potential prospect for them. That's what the marketing really is. And why would that make more sense? Well, because they're the ones that move the transaction forward. They're the ones that inform their clients. They're the professionals that are going to get the deal done. That's what the whole marketing game is. Because I get a lot of people where I'm like, hey, how does this feel for you? And then they kind of assume, oh, that's one of your listings. Well, no, I can sell you anything that's on the market right now. That's a great thing. Even stuff that's not listed. We can find some stuff that's off market. Maybe there's a seller that, just wants to represent himself, but he wants a buyer. I think that that's also a general misconception that is out there. We can wade in sometime to the NRA lawsuit and how commissions are negotiated now, because that is a big change, especially on the buy side, but that'll be another show sometime, right?
For now, until they counter lawsuit and maybe they pull that back at some point. So that's kind of where we're at now. So all kinds
was
of
the silliest lawsuit.
things.
Yeah, it was literally over linguistics, and NRA did not represent us well. I don't know why I paid them.
And just to be clear,
NAR,
not
NRA.
Not talking guns and Second Amendment here. So that's a whole different podcast if you're looking for that one. So NAR, National Association of Realtor. So, Johnny, I've been working on something in the background. We realize a lot of people want Maui as a part of their story, either soon or somewhere down the line in the future. Oftentimes, they don't know what style of Maui that they want. I put together this little guide for people. It's called The 3 Paths to Maui. I'll give you a little glimpse here. Do you want a full move, a second home, or a vacation rental? Which one fits your life? Cool little guide. If that's something you'd find helpful, go down to the comments comments below and you can grab it from there. Read through it. It's about 5 pages, breaks down each of the 3 paths. If you want to take it a step further, you can jump on our calendars for a Aloha Vision Quest.
That's
here
the
to
facts.
help you discover your Maui future. That's what we do. 3 days a week, just chit-chatting about Maui stories, Maui life, Maui real estate. And with that, let's give the hot list Johnny. Start with a big boy down in the south side.
Still trying to cling to that $5 million average in there.
Oh, Olay. What are these, Johnny?
These are vacation rentable condos that sit behind, it's the Grand Wailea, isn't it?
Grand Wailea.
That is one of the potential advantages is you can buy some form of membership to where you can vacation rent this condo and still get access to some of the benefits and the amenities at the Grand Wailea. That's what makes Ho'olea attractive is the vacation rentability. I think Lailoa, Makali'i, maybe perhaps a little bit more luxurious because they're more new, right? But those are residential only. I reflect on this because I saw Lailoa come up and it was like 2.875. So for me, that's an attractive price there where everybody else is trying to push 3.2, 3.6, etc. That is why people buy Ho'olei, is it's important to allow it to be vacation rented.
Big price difference between those. You're like 3.5 on some of those residential ones, but you're 5 million here. So an extra $1.5 million to have that rentability for some people, super important. That's their thing. Some it's a location play, that connection to the Grand Wailea. But what makes this community awesome? It is gated. It feels luxurious. It has great amenities. You've seen some of the pictures of the pool, the waterfall. You do have a gym, barbecue area, but then your space is also luxurious as well. You have a garage, you have 2,500 square feet under roof, you have big lanais with barbecues on them, plenty of space to go around. $2,800 a month in your fees, about what you expect in a luxurious property on Maui these days, maybe even a bit less than some of the other properties in this echelon.
That's it. To be clear, if somebody's dropping $5 million, they're going to be a well-heeled person, right? They don't need the income. They like the idea of the income. There's people out there where it's like, my real estate needs to be active. It needs to pay for itself. It needs to help itself. I like it to roll. And then there are people like, I don't want anybody else to touch my stuff. Everything in here is mine. It's all for us. And that's it. And that's cool. Different styles, different ways.
That's the reality. A lot of people who own something like this don't use it all the time. But there's a lot of days where it's sitting empty and that bothers people. So take advantage of the rentability.
I'll tell you what, crazy things happen in vacant places. So I know that at a high level, I've had to deal with that in my past as a realtor. You don't want stuff to just sit with nobody in it. Stuff breaks. Whoa, Pili Ridge at 350, Danny.
Total fixer, Johnny.
It is.
Complete fixer. I mean, this is like tear down style, but in a condo. So tear apart. They came out at 500. Seems like a crazy price 4 months ago for a completely needs a remodel source of condo.
Well, I had a client send me a studio in there in the 4s, right? So they're still trying to get those. This is actually one of the more attractive locations within the Pili Ridge because you're on the gulch and you get a bit of ocean view there. There are some that are right up on the road. Keep in mind, guys, I live on Hui'ef Road and it is a horrible road. It looks like a ghetto when you bring guests up here, friends. You have to explain why it is. It is full of pot craters, not potholes, no more craters. It's because it was developed by a developer. Nobody took the time to put an HOA, AOAO to take care of this private road. Somehow Maui County said, yeah, that's cool. Go ahead with the development. And then they said, well, that's not our road. State says that's not our road. So guess whose road is it? It's the community road. And it's rough. Nobody wants to put any money into it.
Crazy. So what makes the Pili Ridge appealing? It is hotel zoned.
Yes.
So it can be rented into the future with no restrictions. So, I mean, you're sub 400,000 for a 1-bedroom, vacation rentable, fees reasonable. You do have amenities like a pool.
I'm going to wade into a contemptuous topic right now about something called the Monster House. And that sits on the Pili Bay. It was developed by one of Maui's least favorite developers. There's a lot of chat that I see on Facebook about it where people are like, oh, they built a hotel and they can't do that and the zoning's R3. I looked into it. Much like Napili Ridge, Napili Bay has a hotel zoning, but it's called MBCID, Napili Bay Civic Improvement District. And guess what? That house is zoned for it. And that means just like all the other big houses that are on Napili Bay, because there's about 3 or 4 of them, they're allowed to vacation rent because of that zoning. I just throw that grenade in there. because there's a lot of people chatting about it.
And who decided all this? This, at some point, was the county, was the planning commission that allowed for all of these sorts of zoning in these spots, which feels very neighborhood-like, which probably could serve the local population a little bit better. But we didn't make the rules. We followed the rules, we being the people that bought these things and have been using them as hotel zone.
I had a lot of friends that rented here. It used to be one of the affordable rental spaces here on Maui.
That is Napili Ridge.
Oof, Camp Sands, Danny. Everybody's getting in the game now. They're like, well, we probably need to be around that $7.99 mark. Yeah, that's what's moving.
This is the market value for Camp Sands right now, $7.99. We've seen a couple sell right at $7.99 once they reduce their price. These guys following suit. 6 building, you're on that inner horseshoe. That's appealing. You're up on the 4th floor, so you do get this spiral staircase. $1,400 a month for your fees. You got the resort like amenities, the tennis, the pickleball, the pool, the gym. I think there's even a shaved ice shop down there, multiple pools. It's a pretty cool spot.
So apartment zoned, but was considered by the TIG group as an excellent opportunity for continuing vacation rentals. It would make absolute sense. Castle is the property manager there with a front desk experience, and I'm sure some form of a contract. This would make for an odd residential apartment space, in my opinion. Do you take the risk or not? That's what you have to ask yourself.
It's the risk to play at this point. It could turn into your advantage because prices are lower, right? These are not 1.4 like they were a few years ago. When you think about 2-bedroom condos in the south side, something like this, you're in a range from residential Kihei villages, 450. This is 800. You're on the higher side of that, but the rentability till 2031 keeps the prices elevated and popular. This is a spot where this isn't going to last much past this $800,000 mark. This is not dropping to 600. This is not dropping as a complete fire sale that nobody wants. There are a lot of people, regardless of the rentability, that would want to get in on this at 800,000.
Absolutely. You'd be like, man, Camp Sands would still make a really cool second home. And who knows, somebody could make it work as a regular house. I think parking would be an issue. There's a myriad of things where this has been set up for vacation rentals for so long. Haven't really put any of that thought into it. So, yeah.
440 units. If you try to turn that residential, parking would be a disaster because most people need at least 2 spots, 3 maybe on Maui. You need a lot of parking.
This guy's completely done up, man. Small lanai, but yeah, you wouldn't have to do much with that one. This one, man, that pool is just crazy, huh? Truly resort-like. Down kind of in one of those ravines in Haiku, which is always interesting as well, right?
It's a really vibey haiku property. Got the slate, the dark wood, the ponds, the koi, the pool, the Bali-esque door frames.
How did they get 7 bedrooms and 4.5 baths into less than 2,000 feet, Danny? I'm sure the realtor remarks say some non-conforming elements should
Fiscal
be
dwelling, bed bath does not match tax records. I mean, this looks like a space that's been turned into a bedroom that might not be a bedroom.
Right?
Kind of a cute spot, though. Look at that.
Dude, it's so haiku, man. Like, it is. I'm modern. I'm shabby chic. I'm vibey, like vacation. I'm resort. I'm everything to everybody.
Everything to everybody. It looks like you got a bit of Nohana here. Look at that. A little upstairs bed, too. Loft. Okay, we'll turn that into multiple. There's another loft. There's all kinds of sleeping arrangements. Look at that pool.
Yeah. I don't know,
Here's another rentable space. This is haiku, right?
Yeah. Oh, look at that. There's your
another
Nohana.
Rentable space.
Another one. No, another Nohana. Bro, this is somebody's retreat or something, man. That's what it feels like, right? This is like
full on
hippie trust fund retreat right here, man. Big time. Look at that space.
2 acres.
That is
they want
crazy.
So 3,395 they came out. They're down 62,047 days. I think they're still a bit aspirational for that, Johnny. That's a lot of money. Even though there's a lot of dwellings in space, it's still a big chunk of money for someone to jump in.
It's a unique property, but so is haiku. For those that love it, it's amazing. Wow, I get it. There's a yard here, an actual yard, Danny. I see it.
A yard with a partial remodel, Johnny. You have nice cabinets and countertops, and then you left the original appliances, left the original closet space. Floor is kind of updated. You're kind of right in between. You come out at 600,000. The really nicely remodeled ones are selling at 625. Do I need to remodel this? Am I okay with the condition? How long am I okay with the condition? Those are the questions that I start to think about as a potential buyer. And that's why you're sort of sitting and now doing price reductions after 47 days.
Yep.
But you have the downstairs yard space. So 559, that's where we're sitting at. Kihei Kai, location play here, you're down behind Cam Sands. You have the dog park. You're about a block down to Cam 3 Beach. That's the advantage of something like this over Kihei Villages, South Point, which we'll see later.
Ho'onanea. I bet the people that are getting the grant money are just crushed because so many of them want to be in the Lahaina side, right? You have to be in a certain aged condominium, which Ho'onanea and Okukea are amazing for, basically new builds, 2014-ish. But because you have active construction going on there, you cannot get conforming financing. It's a bummer. There's a great 3-bedroom at Okukea that's in this price range here. But remember, advantage Ho'onanea, you do get a 1-car garage.
Garage is the advantage. Stairs, a disadvantage. If you're looking for a condo without stairs later in your years, this is not the spot for you.
Fees remaining fairly decent down there, which is great.
That might be some of the lowest fees for a 2-bedroom condo in all of Maui.
Really, really is. Yes.
Good at Maui Lani Terraces.
So here we go. This is the behavior. Came out under the one that was priced at $365 today. They came out $299.11 days ago. Doing a small price reduction to keep this in front of the realtors here on the hot list. That's the strategy here. For the handy local person, maybe step right up and Maui Lani Terraces with the funky financing because of just some crazy verbiage about the roof coverage and the insurance. Maybe they fixed that by now. I sure hope they did.
Maybe you need some new floorings, a few touches cosmetically, but you're under $300,000 for a residential condo, West Maui, with the amenities, but you're $900 a month in fees.
Just a great community in there, man. Young people, older people. That's a vibey house right there, man. Little local craftsman kind of ish. We're looking at a 2-bedroom, 3-bath. I see a 2 at the end of the TMK, Danny. So I'm kind of assuming that this is the Ohana. This is built in 2003, so there's different rules, different codes back at that particular time that may be changed. There's changes in 14 itself. But what am I getting here? Well, I'm getting 0.98 acres, I think, because it has been CPR'd, but I'm definitely getting that very cool house.
Beautiful construction. Yeah, this is Unit B. It's not advertised that way very clearly, but yeah, 3.1 million for an acre, 1,000 square feet, couple of bedrooms, amazing views, nice design. This is Lani Aboko. Look at that horse.
That's the lifestyle. It's ag, guys. You can have anything aggy up there. That's our farms and our luxury community all in one.
All the above.
That's it.
We're going further north in Kihei to South Point.
Wow.
Similar construction as the Kihei Kai villages that we've seen.
Great.
Different neighborhood. You're right next to the new Hilton timeshare property, a couple blocks down to the beach. This is also a ground floor, Johnny, but it has the second
yard.
Full bathroom. Nicer remodel.
I saw that. Yeah.
Updated floors, appliances, kitchen, portable AC.
Yep. So no AC in there. That's a quick improvement there.
Staged a little bit, but 565, 22, 750 square feet, 677 in your fees. South Point. Kind of perceived market. Talk about a complex that's well loved, Johnny. This is apartment zoned oceanfront, super boutique, cute, beautiful complex location, amenities. The people that love it absolutely love it. That's why you see a 1-bedroom. Vacation rentability potentially going away in a couple of years, but 848 come out the gates. Not even a particularly nice remodel. You've seen the studio that was out a few weeks ago that we had on the show for about 600.
I think it was cute.
But that thing was designed to the max. This one, a few updates. Kitchen is more dated. It's got the split AC. Views for days.
That's Esther and Sir spot right there. It's a mystery spot nobody knows about.
All the amenities, multiple pools, might I say, a little beachy area, good location, good vibes, $1,600 a month in your fees. But I'd imagine this one's going to move quick because this is a complex that people love.
It'll be bought by a fan, right? This is one of those places that every owner gets a letter. Hey, I want to buy your place. That's happening.
100%. So only 579 square feet. Very small for a one-bedroom condo on Maui, Johnny.
Oof, AOAO Resort. Here we go, guys. Some
Lack of
updates.
excitement in Johnny's voice is because this has been
Yeah.
a difficult property for a lot of people with the financing and just the overall excitement due to $2,200 a month maintenance fees. So here we go, 524 pricing, not even coming out super appealing to overcome all those objections. It's just kind of a wah. Few updates, Johnny. Got the 2008 cabinetry going on. Further
nice.
back on the side, right? You're not that direct oceanfront.
Yeah. Nice beach photos, man. They just showed the beach. Well played. Must be a Frisbee photo. That's what I'm claiming.
Beautiful entry area and commercial spaces that have yet to become anything.
Yeah, it'd be cool if they did. Boardwalk. Had somebody reach out to us on this one here. Just a small little boutique-y space there, just as you come into Halama Street, the sleepy luxury street in central Kihei. Ooh, little Kangen. Does the Kangen come with it? That's $5,000, right? That's got a vibe to it, man. Little interesting with the floor plan when I remember, like some curves and stuff that were very interesting. But the play there is you literally 3-minute walk, you're down at the beach. Can wave at some clients of ours.
That is the play, absolutely. You got a couple steps into the bedroom, which is strange. So this is pretty much right out your lanai down to the beach. Easy access. Only 10 units in this complex, Johnny. 5 have sold in the last 7 years. Pretty rapid turnover. And the last sale was $575 earlier this year for a 2-bedroom, which is about 800 and some square feet. So a little bit bigger than this guy. The last 1-bedroom, $425, sold in 2021.
This is their little lanai action right there, though, right? That little kind of courtyard space there, which is cool. They built a super vibey, they remodeled in a vibey fashion. If you like kind of that white, really modern style, House Enohana directly across the street from there. Not oceanfront either, but it is a cool looking space. This is a nice option here, man, for Boardwalk. Let's move in.
Your alternative right next to this is Maui Gardens. So there's 99 at Maui Gardens. I think a little bit of the itch here, Johnny. These guys have been trying to sell this for a while. They had it listed at $650 in 2024. Had it under contract multiple times with cancellations. Not exactly sure why, but now they're feeling some of that pain maybe of not getting that $650 price that they were hoping for. They paid $300 though, so there's still room.
Okay, here we go. Well, Kihei Shores. So 201, not in the basement. Advantage Kihei Shores, directly next door to Kamole Sands. This is where you see the outlier buildings of 9 and 8, is it, Danny? For some reason, they stay in this price range, which is incredible for affordability for the area, in my opinion. Because Keavakapu, some really expensive condominiums are all around this space here. It's a nice option. You're not going to find $400,000 2-bedroom, 2 baths in Kihei Villages or South Point right now. This is a nice play right here. And look at that, a rare jacuzzi for Maui. Really, really long driveway to get up into it. So a little bit of a walk to get down to the beach, but man.
Kind of a fascinating day on the hot list because you have all these sort of entry-level residential condos. South Point, Kihei Kai, Kihei Villages, Kihei Shores. These are your entry point condos that people either move to the island and buy to first get started, or they move into as a rental. Very common for the Retire with Maui folks to end up in one of these spots to begin. And now you're seeing all the different options. You get the downstairs with the yard. You're about 560, 600, somewhere in that range. And then you see this one as the alternative, no yard, lanai, but arguably the best location of the bunch for $399.
Yeah. So what? I put 40K down, let's say 10% down loan. I'm going to carry a note of another 360. I got fees of 900. I'm going to estimate a payment of somewhere around what, Dan? What would you think? $3,000 monthly mortgage. Taxes will be next to nothing once you get your homestead exemption because it's going to be $300,000 off the assessed value. So literally looking at taxes maybe in the 300 to 500 per year range. 912 for a 2-bedroom isn't awful, but it is elevated compared to some of the other stuff that we looked at for 524 and that kind of stuff, right?
True, but this property does have the one thing that the other properties similarly don't have, which is amenities. All those
Pool
other residential
and
spots,
jacuzzi.
they don't have pools,
Nothing.
they don't have jacuzzi, they don't have barbecues even, so this has got all those things, and you're closer to the beach. Maybe justifies the 900 fee. It is what it is.
Camp 3 right across the beach there, or across the street. Man, leasehold still exists, guys, in Royal Kahana. It's all leasehold at one point, and then it flipped over. Very, very common. So walk us through it, Danny. I paid $250 for it. Let's say I paid $200. Absolutely steal it. I'm going to pay $952 for my maintenance fees at Royal Kahana. That's going to cover all of my utilities, including the electricity and air conditioning bill. Of the potential for underground parking, some amenities. What do I pay my lease rent? What is my surrender date?
$450 a month, and your surrender is $20.50.
There you go. This Tradewind group here, man, they own so many fees. All over Molokai Shores, for example, I see Tradewind pop up. I see Tradewind pop up back in the day over in like Valley Isle, right? So this is a outlier here at the Royal Kahana that still exists.
What I found fascinating about this one, Johnny, and why I kept it on the list today is because this is owned by a real estate agent from the state of California. But when people think about leasehold fee simple, a lot of the times people are like, leasehold, evil, it's so bad. Yet you have someone who's savvy in real estate in the state of California, felt like it was a good value and a good place. So sometimes leasehold makes sense. We're not going to create it as the evil beast that some people think it is. For some, it's the perfect opportunity to get involved with Maui at a price point that makes sense for them. A little bit of extra monthly, but when it's a vacation rental, that may make sense because your rentability may help cover and supplement some of those costs. So just wanted to throw that out there as an interesting caveat.
Well, Danny, only took him 360 days and some really brutal price reductions because just had to deal with all of the Minatoya stuff and apartment zone, but I'm very popular with vacation rentals. Anyway, we're finally in escrow here. $575 was the list price. I'm going to guess there was some negotiations.
Fascinating, isn't it? Started off at $935 a year ago, which at that point, they went super aspirational because you don't see a lot of things pop up in this complex at all. Recently, there was a new listing. That one went very quickly because it was priced well. This one moved shortly thereafter, which is kind of funny, but maybe they finally got to the price point that people were appealed by. So pricing does matter for sure. Right in the Cove, cool location.
The Cove, Surf'em.
I'm gonna guess this is closer to 500,000 when it's all said and done.
Be with you there, brother. Mahialani in Kihei Pi'ilani villages. So here is the discussion I was having. Why is Kamali'ilina such a better value than Pi'ilani villages, Danny? I don't get it.
And this one in particular, I left it on the list because Pi'ilani villages, and we're about 1-1 for the market rate right now. But this one came out 5 days ago. Looks nice inside, but it had the pool, Johnny. You don't see a lot of these with a pool. That is a distinguishing feature, something that someone's willing to jump on quickly because it's all done. To put in a pool in Maui, it's going to cost you a penny.
Huge undertaking. Very rare, I'm sure, in Pi'ilani villages.
Because the lots are small, so it's hard to orient the pool in these oftentimes.
Tiny bobcat that can get through the little side gate. That's what they're using, man. Whoa, look at that backyard space. I get it. Holy, blew out the backyard and just said, man, I'm going to make this whole place a party zone. I don't need no stinking grass.
That's
no
what it is.
lawn. Let's
Easy
go.
to maintain, got the pool, got the extra space. With an elevated price, that's how you move quickly. You are truly a distinguishing feature compared to everything else in the neighborhood. That really looks over the top from what else looks in the neighborhood, right? Kind of an average neighborhood, but with that pool, looks awesome.
Boom. In the 10 building, 5 days in, somebody said, okay, take my money.
Notice how quickly that moved, Johnny? I mean, we just mentioned this on the show on Monday because we are looking at another one that's been listed for over a year that started at $1 million that finally came down to 800,000 in a 1-2. These guys came out at 685. Boom, moves quick. So 800 is not the price despite someone pushing that, hey, we're the 10 building, we're better than everybody else, we deserve the bigger price. Not right now.
But this one has a small lanai, Danny, that's why. That's little realtor thinking over here.
Oh, yeah. So not crazy view. You got some of these walls and stuff in there, but you are in the 10 building with closer to the water, which tended to have a little bit more value for whatever reason. I would prefer a different view than that. But here you go. Continuing on at Cam Sands, 625 in the 5 building was appealing to someone. 5 buildings straight on. Ground floor tends to move a little bit slower typically on Maui, Johnny. I love the ground floor. Most people do not.
And why do they not?
They feel less private.
People walking on the grass. You're absolutely right.
Less view. Rodents. There are mice and stuff in Hawaii. Sometimes that was an issue when I lived ground floor. People don't want to deal with that. Sometimes you got stray cats that come over. There's a few different reasons why I don't like the ground floor. For me, easy access. It feels like my lanai is the whole grounds of the property. I feel like I'm winning because I am in and out. I don't have to wait for elevators. I don't have to go upstairs. So easy, which in Hawaii is amazing. In Minnesota, who cares? It's cold half the year, but in Hawaii, it's beautiful all the time. You can always stroll outside. I love that about ground floor.
Okay, Makena surf, not Ma'alaya surf. So vacation rentable, built in 84. And I used to remember, did I go to this particular resort and have like buffets and stuff back in the day? I can't remember, but down from 5.15. Did somebody write a check for it, Danny? Or did they do some financing, stole it? 3.9, even negotiated further down, another 5.45 down, and then said, I'm going to slap a note on you. How long did it take to close?
3 months.
Almost 90 days. Probably had some gas and stuff, pesky gas, can't do my inspections. That looks very 2006. Travertine, Versailles
dated
pattern.
remodel.
But that view, what does McKenna mean, everybody? Abundance.
So 479 days ago, they're like, let's list this thing for 5.15, and then eventually they closed for 3.95. That's $1.2 million less than you were hoping for.
It's uncomfortable for everybody. Kuleana. So had a client, wanted to sell, kind of pump the brakes. So just kind of share, this is what this one brought.
Take note.
Yep.
Dated inside, moved in pretty quickly though.
Yeah, Kuleana's well loved.
Fans of the complex. This one kind of stuck out to me, Johnny.
Oof, brutal.
Front row in the F building, so you're really pushing off that, hey, I'm ocean front, I'm better than all the other guys. I came out at 625,000 as a result. 6 months later, I accept 385 on a 1031 exchange, good or better than cash. The most interesting part about this one, Johnny, guess how much this guy paid for this one?
How much? Back in the day. Back when it was leasehold.
$46,000 what he paid for it.
He had some room. He had some aspirations. He had some room. So, dude, this one here, man, I was at my buddy Justin's who lives here, and he was raving about this when he knew the guy that kind of picked this one up. Super stoked. Fees are the sucky part of Pohailani right now for a lot of people. I know a buddy of mine, just a humble little massage therapist, just getting crushed, man. $24,000 a year in fees. That hurts when you're not making a ton on Maui, right?
2-bedroom though for $360, Johnny. The price feels like the value. The maintenance fee feels like the pain, but I guess lower entry price, higher monthly. You do have some amenities at Pohailani that you don't have at a lot of the other complexes on the residential west side.
Killer mangoes. Hale Ono Loa, the house of delicious. 4 1/4, brought all the money, listed it, closed it, 35 days. Bingo, bango, pickle, mango.
Good price, great condition, excellent location in the complex. Johnny, rentability for a couple more years may not go away. It is on the TIG list.
That's
so
right.
That's the advantage here. Someone took the shot no matter what. If it's not rentable, we still love it. The location, the remodel, everything. That's how you get it done in this market. The Maui Hot List Houlihan, 3 days a week. We're hanging out here. We're getting longer and longer, like 50-minute episodes. We just like to chitter chatter. Johnny will tell you he doesn't chitter chatter, but he definitely likes to chitter chatter. So
not so much on the telephone,
just on the YouTube. So thanks for hanging out with us. We know some of you are watching all the way till the end. Shout out Anthony, our favorite pineapple loving friend. Until next time.
Hooey ho. Happy Aloha Friday.